So Kamaru Usman needs a fight, guys. I mean, he's been calling for Khamzat Chimaev for the longest time. It's a fight we all really wanted to see. You know, Kamaru Usman's a former champion at 170. Khamzat Chimaev was on a tear at 170, but in his first challenge against a top contender, number 5 ranked Gilbert Burns, he struggled a little bit. Yes, he got his win in the end, but you could see he wasn't able to do what he did to everybody else, which was ragdoll them at will and really just run through everybody. And Kamaru Usman, I felt, was going to move up to 185. I felt his time was done at 170. But recently he said to Khamzat, cut the weight. Cut the weight. Just do what you're supposed to do and let's fight at 170. Of course, when Khamzat last fought, which was ages ago, he missed weight by about 8.5 pounds. So there's always been questions whether he's going to fight at 170 or he's going to fight at 185. Now, for whatever reason, obviously, that fight wasn't being made, and with the new news out that Khamzat Chimaev and Paulo Costa are fighting one another, we understand why, because it seems like Khamzat's got a commitment now to stay at 185. He's not going to yo-yo up and down between 170 and 185. So that takes him out of the picture. You've got a former champion who obviously the UFC still loves. He's still a great fighter. He's not going to fight for a title anymore. Okay? He's kind of like what Robert Whittaker was at 185. And I know Robert Whittaker had a number 1 contendership match with Dricus. If he'd won, he would have fought for the title. But we've seen that fight play out a bunch of times. We just saw Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman play out twice in a row. Edwards came out of that. So Kamaru Usman title picture, out of the picture. Khamzat Chimaev, out of the picture completely. If you look at that top 10, top 5, top 10 of the 170 division, you might be able to put, obviously, Colby Covington. Gilbert Burns, maybe. We haven't seen him and Edwards really. There's one guy that stands out that should be in that title conversation, but possibly not fight for the title just yet. And the only blemish on this fighter's record in the last 10 fights is a no contest against the current champion. And I'm talking about Belal Muhammad. Belal's been on an absolute tear the last 10 fights. He's 9-0-1. He needs a fight. Now, if he's not going to fight for the title, because we think it's Colby Covington and Leon Edwards fighting one another, Kamaru Usman wants a fight. Kamaru Usman could probably still be the gatekeeper of that division. Why not make Belal Muhammad versus Kamaru Usman? Will tell us a lot about Belal. If Belal's able to beat Kamaru Usman, he cements himself as the number 1 contender, no matter who it's against at 170. It will still tell us a lot about Kamaru Usman, because Kamaru Usman looked unbeatable. There was discussion of him being the greatest welterweight of all time until he lost to Leon Edwards. In that one moment, he lost to Leon Edwards. He's kind of been discredited in the last little while, and he obviously wants to still prove himself and prove his worth at 170. Again, we don't know what's going to happen with the title picture, because Covington and Edwards probably going to be made for UFC 295. But Kamaru Usman can still offer a lot of value at 170, even if he's not going to fight any of those two for the title. And I think Belal Muhammad, it needs to be his moment now. If he beats Kamaru Usman, it's a passing of the torch. It rubber stamps him at number 1. And he hasn't fought for a while. Kamaru Usman is looking for a fight. We can make that fight happen. Reinvigorate the 170-pound division. Have fans interested a lot more in the 170-pound division. You have your champion of the Colby Covington, Leon Edwards fight. Belal Muhammad if he beats Kamaru Usman. And I think that's the fight to make for the fans and for the division.